Okay, folks, this will be an entirely faceless video. All right, we're going to jump right into this because we have several books to flip through. What I have here is a math program for the younger kiddos. So that is pre-K and first grade, I think maybe a little bit of second. But I'll tell you that in another video when I do a review. But this is Miquon Math, and it comes with 6 books, lab sheet annotations, and mathematics for the primary teacher, basically your teacher manual, and then your teacher notes. Okay, so we will get going. I am not going to talk through this. I'm going to start the music soon because we have a lot of books to flip through. But please note, these some of these books are missing pages, and there might be some writing in it. But you'll still get the gist of what the program is about, obviously. So let's get going. So we'll start with book 1, and the books are really known for their colors. So this is the orange book, as you can see here. So we'll start here, and I will cue the music. Well, before I do that, you know, I love to bump my gums. All right, so we're already missing a number of pages here, but don't worry about it. You still get the gist of what the program is about. Now, this is not going to mean anything to you, and don't be afraid of this, okay? Because in the teacher manual, it explains every single page, okay? And when we flip through that, you'll see what I'm talking about. But this is the workbook for your child. Okay. And one thing about Miquon is that you don't just take one book and work from the first page all the way to the last page. You actually skip around. And when I do a review, I will tell you about that. Okay. So I'm going to literally flip through the rest, just so you can see, you get an idea of what it looks like, just because we have 6 books to go through. And the teacher book, which is quite heavy, lots of pages, okay? And at the back of the book, you have your progress chart, and it breaks it down by all the topics that your child will be learning, okay? And these numbers, the letters actually mean something, and the numbers, but we'll go over that in a review. All right, so that was book 1, the orange book. The second book is the red book. You know, I had to put my own numbers on it just so I can keep track of everything. And you'll see at the bottom of each page, you see a letter and a number, okay? And then you have reference pages here, okay? Now, this is an old curriculum. This is from 1964, okay? I think I'm skipping a couple of pages, but you see each page is colorful, and there is a reason. The pages are okay, you have fractions, and I start to break down. When I do a review, this will make sense to you because you have multiple concepts within one book, like fractions, measurement, multiplication, whatever, and the colors mean something, okay? Sorry guys, my allergies are flaring up. I was out in the garden, it was windy, and there was pollen everywhere. I was digging, and I sound very nasally. So I'm skipping a number of pages, just so I can get through this video. So excuse my sniffling. All right, so I'm gonna flip all the way to the back. And then again, you have your progress chart here. Okay. Now, I might have to teach a class just on this. It's not really complicated, but then once you get it, you're like, oh, this makes sense. Okay. We are on the blue book, which is the 3rd book in the series. And yes, in kinder and 1st grade, your child will be able to do this. Okay. Well, I shouldn't say kinder. It depends on when you start the program, but definitely by, well, I shouldn't say anything because it just depends on when you start this program with your child. The younger, the better. Here's your progress chart. Okay. We have the green book, which is book 4. We have 2 more books after this. That's the last book. All right. So let's move on to, okay, y'all. I don't think I have the energy to go through this. This book is quite thick. Close to 400 pages. So I'm just going to show just a couple. I might just do just another. We need to go through every page. But I'm feeling my allergies flaring up again. So I'll just hit each chapter, but I'm not going to go through every page in the chapter. Okay. But it's key that you read this information at the beginning of the book, and this page will be your best friend. Okay. And then, okay. So, let me get situated here. Okay. And, okay, don't be scared off by this. This is really your teacher manual, and it's giving you suggested activities, directions on activities and writing and the math and all of that. Okay. And then it also gives you some nice little notes. Like, look at that right here. The teacher has to be a detective to tell he knows the answers, but she gives him the benefit of the doubt. Lewis is excellent in computation, but his writing is full of reversals. Blah, blah, blah. Work with children during their handwriting lesson on writing numerals. On arithmetic papers, do not make the children take time out to correct their reversals or sloppy rendering of numerals. So this gives you great insight on how to be a good teacher, okay? And what I like about this program is that it tells you the kind of errors that children will make, what to look out for, and then how to correct it and why they make that. They'll say, oh, children at this age will think like this, or they typically do this. This is how you correct that, okay? So I think a lot of programs should have a notes to teacher or common pitfalls and errors. I know I'm saying that crazy because I'm still from the South. I know Singapore Math or Primary Mathematics in their teacher manual, they'll list that. They'll say, oh, common pitfalls when subtracting 3-digit numbers is when the top digit is a 0 or something like that. So I love that because now that gives you more insight. It gives you a greater understanding, and you're not just thinking, oh, my child just doesn't get it, or my child, no, this is what's common, okay? And this is how these students become very, very fluent with math, because even if you don't know math yourself, but if you have material that tells you what to look out for, the pitfalls and the guideposts, then you're good. So that's subtraction. I'm going to flip to fractions. Okay. And that's what it looks like. Okay, I'm flipping a lot of pages. This is the first flip through where I'm not going from page to page, like from the front to the back. Okay, but this is what the teacher manual looks like. I need to go and make some tea because my nose is really stuffy and I'm starting to get some pressure in my head. Okay, all right. And that's what it looks like. It's the teacher's manual, okay? If you guys want a standalone video where I go over that, I can. Okay, and then you have your notes to teachers, okay? And this is really thin. It's a thin book. You see here, this is, you see some of the Right Start. If you guys ever use the Right Start mathematics program, they have this balance beam. Man, the only thing with that was that it was plastic and my son broke one of the handles, one of the clips that holds the little dangling things. I'm being very scientific here. Look at this. So Now, you know, this is whetting my appetite because I love curriculum and the development of that. Okay. Okay. And this is great. This is for first grade. This teacher notes, if I recall, was for first grade. Yeah. And then you have Cuisinart rods. This is how I segued into primary mathematics / Singapore math because of the Cuisinart rods. And that was a key component I found in a lot of the higher level math programs were rods, base blocks. Like that was the main manipulative. Okay. Children's eras. Okay. And that's just the pendants, okay? See? Look at that. And I wish more public school teachers would read this and learn this because they want, you know, in public school, they want your kids to do something in this exact way and no deviation. And that was my son when he was in first grade, or maybe second grade. They were just introducing mathematics, and my son was already doing equations. And so he had a really fast way of doing it, and he did it in his head. And his teacher was like, I need to show your work. He's like, okay. So he just write something down. And she was like, how did you arrive at the answer? And his answers were always correct. And he was, so she kept like testing him. And so she used to be a fifth grade teacher. So she brought some of her fifth grade materials in, so she was giving it to him. And so I remember this one time, this is when I knew I was going to pull him out of school. He was multiplying 3-digit numbers, so 550 times 275, and he was doing it in his head. He had a system, he had a way of doing it. And she was just like, I can't believe this. No, show me how you do it this way. And so he was like, well, I don't know because it's in my head and I don't know how to put it down on paper. It just comes to me. And so she was like, okay, didn't say anything. And then she called me and she was like, okay, I'm going to need you to talk to your son. Okay, and that's the end of this. I'm sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. Maybe I'll save this for a live. But all this to say was that it was really important. This is when Common Core was being pushed on the schools. And she was like, if he can just write something, but then at the end, write it the way I do it on the board, then he'll be okay. And I'm like, you want him to fake write some equations just to match something you wrote on the board that took you 3 minutes to do, and he did it in 2 seconds? I was like, Miss D, I'm not going to say the rest of her name, girl, bye. And then we were gone in December. All right. So anyway, that concludes our flip through. I hope this found some value. Obviously, I'm going to do a review on this, a curriculum review, but I'm sorry for all the long-winded stories, but I haven't looked at this material in like years, and so memories were coming back. So this is Miquon. This is I'm gonna say K-4. I don't even know, y'all. I'll say that in the review. But part of it is really like first and second grade. That's when I used it with my kids. So your mileage may vary. If you want more curriculum reviews, you can check out my curriculum review playlist. Or if you want more of these flips, I do have a playlist. Look above the video or down in the description box. I will have a link to that. If you like this and you would like to see more of this, please put a like, share on the video, maybe even drop a comment on something you would like to see in the future as a flip through or a curriculum review. This is Niki with Homeschool Knockouts. I love you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Mwah.